We're now joined by our race winner, Kyle Busch, the driver of the number 18 Z-Line Designs Toyota, and his crew chief, Jason Ratcliff. Kyle, of course, our 2009 NASCAR Nationwide Series champion. Now, Kyle, give me a second. I'm going to try to see if I can get all this straight. All right?
All right.
This is your third win of the season, your third consecutive win here at Auto Club Speedway, your fifth overall, 46th career win in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, and that victory was the 7th consecutive NASCAR Nationwide Series win for Joe Gibbs Racing here at Auto Club Speedway. So there's some pretty hefty numbers that go along with this victory today, but it's kind of ironic in that it came with about this much of the race to go and a great call by Jason.
Yeah.
So talk about that.
It was, man. It was a really good race. I thought it was pretty exciting from my vantage point, watching a 33 and a 60 duke it out all day. I wish we could have been a little bit closer to kind of give them a run for their money, but we kept them in our sights at least. You know, I felt like we had a car that was better on the long run definitely than the short run. We just struggled with the short run today. We just couldn't get the car to turn the way I needed it to, and so, you know, there we were making adjustments all day long, kind of gaining on it a little bit in order to keep up at least better than where we were in the beginning of the race, but never got it to where it was a winning car by any means. But the guys gave me a great race car that I could at least keep pace with them guys, and there towards the end of the race, you know, we didn't really talk about it much, but, you know, I thought 4 tires was just going to be a consistent call and just give us a third-place run today, but Jason surprised all of us and pulled one out of the hat with 2 tires there on pit road and did an awesome job making the call and committing to it. And the guys did a good job being able to change the tires quick and get us out there. So, you know, we had just enough room that's all that mattered.
Jace, why don't you talk about that little surprise?
Actually, I still can't believe it finally worked out. You know, that's you think about things like that, and you're like, okay. When you're sitting on the couch and you're thinking, oh, if I was that guy, I'd do this. And it was a good opportunity for us. I mean, we weren't going to win it by taking 4 tires. And I'm really surprised that we were the only ones to do the right size like that. It was coming down to too many. We were waiting too many laps where it wasn't going to work, but I had to wait. We had to wait and see what the 60 and the 33 were going to do. The 60 pitted early, took 4. And the 33, I wasn't real sure what they were going to do. If they would have taken 2, then we would have just put 4 on and hoped for a caution late in the race. But it worked out. Like Kyle said, we you know, just all weekend, you know, our Toyota Camry, it was good, but we just couldn't find speed in it. And we worked in one area yesterday, and then I think today the track maybe changed on us a little bit, and it was more than we could fix with air pressure. But we learned a lot today. Learned a lot about these big racetracks. I think we'll be better coming back. But it's fun to win one like that. We were doing the math, and I was like, man, it's going to be close. It's going to be really close, and worked out.
Anyone have questions for either Kyle or Jason? Raise your hand. We'll get the wireless to you. Name and affiliation, please.
Reed Spencer with Sporting News. For both Jason and Kyle, does it give you a sort of an extra sense of satisfaction or a different satisfaction to win a race, to figure out a way to do it when you don't have the fastest car? And how much fuel did you get in the car on that last stop?
We only needed about 4 seconds of fuel, and I figure those guys, you know, that group is so fast on pit road. They averaged just a little bit, probably a little bit over 5 seconds doing a right side stop. So I thought if our gas man got to the car early and got plugged in, it was going to be right what we needed on fuel. So we just took what we needed, you know, to get to the end. What was your other question? I'm sorry.
Does it give you a sort of
it's fun. It does. I mean, you know, winning's always gives you satisfaction, but to be able to go out there today and figure out a way to do it, and everybody had to do their deal. The gas man had to make, just like you just mentioned, he had to make sure that he plugged in as soon as he got there. If he would have hesitated and the guys were a little bit quicker than he was putting tires on, we might have run out of gas at the end. So I would say it's pretty close to empty right now. We just took enough to get to the end.
I think it's pretty satisfying when you can win one like that. I mean, it's great to go out there and kick everybody's butt and win the race and just, you know, come to the media center and go home. But today it's a little bit more fun. You know, I don't know why, but just, you know, you're working your butt off all day long and you're like, oh man, you know, it's gonna be a third today. that kind of stinks, but it's still decent. And then you end up making a pit call like that where nobody else does it, and you're like, damn, we're going to win this thing. Like, you just get all jacked up. So I almost threw it away a couple times, but we kept it together just enough and beat them to the line, so that was good.
Jim Alexander from the Press Enterprise in Riverside. Kyle, this is probably an old question for you because you won so often in the Nationwide Series, but how does winning on Saturday help you on Sunday?
Well, today it's not necessarily winning. I think it's just more about getting the track time and understanding the race, the way it went on, and the way the car handled. We did a lot of different things today that we can work on our Cup car with and kind of do tomorrow, but I think with Jason, the changes that he made from practice to qualifying, we went too far. And so I know what those are, and I'm sure Jason sent the run log to Dave, and we can let Dave know what we did so we don't go that far with the Cup car. But also just getting the race under my belt with running the low line, the middle line, the high line, just kind of understanding what it takes to run those different lines around the racetrack. I mean, this is the first time I've ever run that good here in the lane right up on the wall. I've never done that here before, so it was cool to see that today and to have a good satisfaction of running right up there and not getting into it too many times, I guess.
Any questions in the media center for Kyle Busch or Jason Ratcliff?
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
Jorge Mendaca, FoxSports.com. Kyle, aside from a tough weekend in Las Vegas, you've been firing on all cylinders in trucks, Nationwide and Cup. Can you recall a time when you've been just running so great in all three divisions, and also talk about winning 3 consecutive races now?
Yeah, I think it was somewhere in 2008 when it was, I think I went, I don't remember what it was. It might have been 4 or 5 straight weeks that I won a race. It might even have been longer than that. I don't remember. But, we had a really good run there. And I said a couple times, I was like, man, is it really this easy? Like, how can this be happening? But, it turns on you sometime. But we just keep our focus forward. And these guys, unfortunately, we're not running for the points championship at all or anything like that. So we were just out here today running as hard as we could to try to see if we couldn't get a win and take the trophy home. So that's kind of what we've been doing here this year with the Nationwide Series, and now hopefully looking to do that again tomorrow. If I can win tomorrow's race, that would just be fulfilling for sure. And getting out of California with a good solid run, that would just be satisfying. So we'll see how that goes and what we can do tomorrow.
Other questions in the media center?
Alan Bailey with AudioEatBall.com. Kyle, you continue to set records in the Nationwide Series, and you're coming up on win number 50. Is that something that's on your mind, or is that something that it just seems like it's around the corner and you're just not even thinking about it at this point?
Yes, it's not really something we're thinking about, to be honest with you. I mean, we just know that if we run well and if we do what we know how to do to be competitive and to reach our potential and to do what we need to do on race day, that the wins will come. The only reason all the stats are what they are is not because I was out there to say, hey, I'm going to reach 10,000 laps one day. Watch this. It's just about going out there and running as hard as you can and running every lap the best that you can do, and of course, working with the crew chiefs and the engineers and all the guys that work on your team that pour a lot of good, blood, sweat, and tears into your cars and make them fast. So I've been fortunate to have a lot of fast race cars in the Nationwide Series and been really good at being able to bring them to victory lane sometimes too. So that's meant the most.
Other questions from the media center?
No more questions from the media center.
Questions from the Skybox press box, please.
One question.
No questions, thank you.
We have one question from the Terrace Press.
Go ahead.
Just kind of a follow-up question for tomorrow's race. What did you learn in today's race that you can translate to the Cup car for tomorrow?
I think the biggest thing I learned was just, the line that I was running up around the top of the racetrack. Today in practice with the Cup cars, I was running low the whole time, and some of those guys were really getting really fast lap times, and I just could not get my car to do what I wanted it to up around the top. It was just really tight, and so I put a big, a big exclamation point on trying to figure out how to get around the top a little bit better, and so I concentrated on doing that much of the day, and I found something. I was like, man, we're going somewhere here. This is good. And Jason would come over the radio and was like, "Man, that was really fast. Keep doing that." And I'm like, "I don't really want to. I'm going to show these guys what I'm doing." But, it worked out. Some of those guys did move up. They did get faster. Then they started searching around and moving all over the place. So it was amazing to see the 60 car, how he would enter turn 3 so high and so wide and then just go right to the bottom of the racetrack. I mean, if I would have done that, I would have backed it in the wall a couple times. So it was wild. I mean, I tried to follow those guys a few times, and there was just no way I was going to do that. So I had to find something that worked for me and worked for my car, and fortunately I did that and got going on it. Worked pretty well. A couple guys ran it today and learned something too, probably. I think I taught the 6 and the 16, so a couple young guys were kind of following me around a little bit, and neat to see them kind of pick up on that stuff.
We have a question in the Terrace press box.
J.P. Hornster, San Bernardino Sun. Kyle, take me through that last little brush up against the wall. Were you worried at all at that point?
No, I wasn't worried. I took the white flag, and I was like, man, there's no way. I was just smiling ear to ear getting into turn 1. And then I drove up into turn 1, and I got up to the outside lane, and I started picking up the gas, and it built up a little bit of a push. And I got up in the gray, the marbles and just the dust and the dirt and stuff, and I lost traction, essentially, and just got in the fence just a little bit, and I was like, oh, that ain't good. So I looked at my mirror all the way down the backstretch, and I'm like, how fast are those guys closing on me? Do I have to run turn 3 as hard as I need to, or can I just bring it home? So I ran through turns 3 and 4, just biding my time, taking my time, and knew I had enough gap that it didn't matter. So fortunately, I didn't have 5 more laps, but that's why we knew when we needed to pit. That's why we pitted, and Jason gave me the right amount of calculations that I needed to make it to the line about, a second ahead of him or something.
Any other questions in the Skybox press box?
No more questions.
Terrace press box?
No more questions.
Media Center?
No more questions.
All right.
I think we're clear, gentlemen.
All right,
Congratulations.
cool.
Good luck
Thank you,
tomorrow.
guys.
Thank you.
All right.